Stacy, here we are back.
Hey, 102, how are you?
102 Rocky Files. You know, I think the camera was just rolling. We were talking about some of the greatest musicians in the world. I had just mentioned Janet Jackson and Rhythm Nation because I was doing the countdown. You know, Stacy, every time we do this, we have our little things that we go through before we start. You
Right.
do like a yoga pose like thing, like you do.
Right.
You do a whole thing.
I'm a pretzel.
You are a pretzel. I crack my neck.
True.
And then we do this countdown. If you guys remember Rhythm Nation with Janet Jackson, whoever they hired to be the voice, countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was great. I love it. And then she comes in and she's doing the dancing. I love that. I mean, I
love Michael Jackson. I love her. I love the Jackson family. Awesome.
And to be honest with you, I always thought that Janet Jackson was, a very lovely lady. And I remember telling that to Sue, and she was like, "Oh, really?" And she was watching one of Janet Jackson's videos one time with Antonio Sabato Jr. in it, and I could not pull her away from the television. And she was like, I forget the name of the song that it is, but it's a black and white video, and she's frolicking around the sand with Antonio Sabato Jr. there. Yeah. And anyways, yeah. Oh, you too, huh?
He says some hot stuff. Yeah.
He's not disgusting or burnt by acid, right?
No, not at all. Moving along.
Well, listen, this is not the Antonio Sabato Jr. or Rhythm Nation Janet Jackson podcast. This is the Rocky Files podcast, and we are here at episode 102. Stacy, it's always good to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you too. How was your week? Anything happen?
Well, you know what? I had a very hoppy weekend. Get it? Hoppy.
Easter weekend.
Yeah, it was Easter weekend. So we chose not to go in for this weekend because I had tours, and so it's just that's a lot of driving, and I could use the day off. So we kind of hung around the house, and we didn't have a special dinner. We didn't go out to dinner, nothing like that. Okay. I think we had some salads and I don't know, the chicken or something.
We did Thanksgiving again.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I'm like, I'm not in the mood for ham. And then Mom's like, well, what about turkey dinner? I'm like, hey, we love Thanksgiving dinner, so we just did it again.
Right? See that? I like it. I made a few calls. I was talking to some friends. I was checking in. I had a nice conversation with Sean and Irene.
Nice.
I checked in with those guys for a little bit. So they were having a nice relaxing weekend. And our good friend Kelly Barton. Although I didn't talk to her, we voice messaged back and forth. Just catching up on life, and she sends her love. She loves the Rocky Files. So hi, Kelly. Hi, Sean and Irene. Hope you guys are doing well. Did you do an Easter egg hunt? I mean, I know your daughter's a little older now, but hey, I love an Easter egg hunt.
I know.
Okay?
Well, we certainly enjoyed all the candy that
really?
Sue kind of sent us. So
she did. Yes.
She did.
Sue did send you. I had no part in that because I know you're trying to eat very clean, very healthy. But I also know if it's put in front of you, you're going to say
over.
Delicious.
It's over. So yes.
Get her done.
And she guessed right. I mean, I love Hershey's, but the Reese's peanut butter cup bunnies and eggs, I was like, oh, you're killing me right now. I love Reese's so much. But anyway, go ahead. Did I
No, I think there are a lot of people's dirty little secrets that they have hidden in the back of the towels in the pantry closet, or they have on top of the fishing tackle gear in the garage. That secret where they go out at like midnight when the house is asleep and they quietly unwrap and they just shovel it in. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know, but
I may have been known for hiding candy. Maybe.
Right? I know. Hey, Stacy, here's 2 quick notes. Rambo, the Rambo series. All 5 Rambos are available today in 4K at Walmart. I just remembered that.
Nice. Ms.
That's
Joanne.
out.
Yes,
that's
awesome.
cool. And June, I want to say June 6th, June 11th, June 12th, Rocky 5 and Rocky Balboa are being re-released on 4K. So all you fans,
Nice.
look for those. They are coming out. Stacy, maybe I'll send you if I have it on my phone. I'll send you the picture to put right here,
Sure.
and we can let everybody know.
Excellent.
So that's kind of cool. And one last thing, this thing I'm going to talk about, I'm a little disappointed at this.
Uh-oh.
Are you familiar with McFarlane Toys?
Yeah.
Okay, McFarlane Toys, for those of you who don't know, they do statuettes, action figures, whatever. They, for decades, were the best of the best when it came to sculpting action figures. Whatever, when it was the Matrix, whoever it was. So they finally, after all these decades, decided to do a Rocky 1 and Apollo, both in ringwear inside the ring.
Right.
And I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed at them. You know who it is when you look at it, and I'll send you the picture right here. You could throw it in. It's just, there's something with the face that is a little off. He looks more like Count Chocula. If you remember who Count Chocula was on the cereal box, this is right. It just has a Count Chocula look to it. The physique is good. The trunks are fine. The base is nice. It's got a championship belt on the base. Right. And Apollo is very similar in an action pose. And they give you the backdrop of the ring, the arena, with the red, blue, and white lights that went around the arena. So I did order it. They're 6 inches tall. And I think they only cost like $25. So I thought, what the heck? For $25, I'll have it for a collection. Right. But it's not really good. And I thought McFarlane's were a little better than that. Anyways, you guys let us know in the live chat what you guys think.
We thought of a new idea. Okay, so here we are at episode 102. And to think that we have guests from 100 episodes ago is just crazy. So I have started to reach out to our guests. So our episode 2 guest was Austin Gomes. And I said, you know what? This is what we're going to do. As we go along in our numbers, we're going to reach out to that guest from 100 episodes ago and ask for a video clip. So this here is an update from our friend Austin.
You like RockyBalboa? What's going on? It's me, Austin Gomes, from episode 2. So, yeah, quick life update. I am going to finish real estate classes this week and take my test hopefully next week. I just want to get into the business of just working for myself and doing that. Also, I've been doing stand-up comedy, which has been an adventure. I've probably gone out on stage about 9 times now, and I've been learning a lot and progressing and growing. I've been trying to just create my own little brand of comedy. I'm trying to keep it more clean and lighthearted, you know what I mean? Kind of like Rocky, you know what I mean? Like more respectful and, get on a level with people and make them laugh. So anyways, yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm just working really hard. My dad passed away recently. That was really tough. But, I've always had Rocky to fall back on. And you guys, the Rocky universe that we've kind of created here, it's always good to be a part of for that support and positivity. So that's it. Thank you for allowing me to give you an update. Love you guys. Keep punching.
Love you right back, brother. Great to hear that you're moving forward and capitalizing on things. Sorry about your dad. That's never an easy hill to climb. That's something you got to work through. We're all going to find that out at some point, sooner or later, hopefully later.
Right.
But I'm so glad he's doing the thing. What did he say about the real estate?
Yeah, because what were we talking about before we started? Being your own boss. Isn't that everyone's dream? So I'm good for you, because I think everybody would love to find a way to be their own boss.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I used to tell Sue, when Sue gets a little beat up over looking for a new job or whatever, I always told her I thought she would be brilliant at real estate. I thought, because she has that type of personality where Yeah, I thought she'd be great, but that's a huge commitment. But anyways, maybe I'll have Austin talk to her a little bit if he does well with it and say, look at the Mercedes I'm driving here. So
no, I think she'd be dynamite at that. I mean, it'd never go out of style. That's for sure.
That's true.
Now we have our guest, and hello, Chris. We're just going to have you wait one more moment because we're going to announce a contest and then we're going to bring you in. So
boom.
Mike, you put out this video that I'm like, now this will be a fun contest. Okay. I want everyone to take a look at this example and then do the same and answer the question. Of course, I'm a Rocky fan because, so here it is.
Of course I'm a Rocky fan. I have a miniature Mighty Mix gym in my house. Of course I'm a Rocky fan. I have 3 Italian Stallion motorcycles. Of course I'm a Rocky fan. I have a vintage Bonds 5th Avenue leather jacket. Of course I'm a Rocky fan. I've got Rocky art all over my Rocky room. Of course I'm a Rocky fan. I do tours in the rain.
Of course I'm a Rocky fan because I do a Rocky Files podcast.
Exactly.
It's also an option, just saying.
Exactly. You don't know how many of those things. Do you do 3? Do you do 5? That's actually, you see, Stacy, where were you? I needed you the other day when I was doing that. I'm also co-hosting the Rocky Files podcast. Of course I'm a fan. That should be yours that you do.
It might be.
Yes, because you have to do one. But Stacy, why did you show off that little fun video I did?
I just think it's fun. So many people have all this cool stuff.
Yeah, right.
And we love Rocky and what it represents and how it fills us up in our heart and our soul and really gives us a lot of guidance in having these articles, these things around us. I walk in the room, I'll be walking around my house like all torqued off about something. And then I come in here and I'm like, all right, there you have a choice on how you're going to handle this or how you're going to respond, right? And Rocky reminds us that we can respond or not respond, which is also powerful. So I love this stuff. So I wanted to get the contest out for you to show us what are the most meaningful Rocky things you have. So I'll put this out also on an Instagram post.
Yeah. So try to keep it around 30 seconds. Mine went a little longer. Mine, I think, went 49 seconds. I wanted to do 30 seconds, and I probably should have. But anyways, I think the shorter the better. Boom, boom, boom. And, your top 3 or top 4 things that you love that makes you feel of course you're a Rocky fan. Right. And, send it into the Rocky Files. And, of course, tag me in it, too, when you send it out there because I want to see it and I want to put it out there for people that follow me to see it as well. Cool. And Stacy, I was thinking we'd have a interesting prize on this.
Yes.
Well, Stacy and I talked about this, and it looks like we are going to offer a 2024 Mercedes SLB RTJ 3000. Yeah. Nobody has seen this car yet. So what? Oh, we're not going with the Mercedes. It's a pizza. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So the prize is you buy yourself and your family a pizza and you submit the receipt to Rocky Files, and I will PayPal you whatever it costs for the pizza. You're not getting 10 trays of pizza, okay? But I swear to you, this is documentation. Stacy and I will buy you a tray of pizza in your hometown. And, of course, we'd love to be there to share it with you. If you live within 5 miles of us, we'll drive and hang out with you. But if you don't, we'll at least pay for it. Stacy, is that okay?
That is okay. That's something I can afford.
Me too.
He's not so much.
Yeah, listen, hey, we're not making no money on this podcast.
No.
Okay? Nothing. Matter of fact, we lose money, if anything.
Yes, we do.
We do. But
that's all right.
That's all right because we love our Rocky bubble. We do.
All right. Speaking of a Rocky bubble edition, we got Chris Mihas here. Did I say it right, Chris Mihas?
You did. Yeah, you did. That's perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. How are you? I love the Rocky room. That's very impressive.
Well, so here's the thing. I feel like I'm with my people. Like,
Right.
okay, before I met Stacy, she didn't have a Rocky room. So Stacy's Rocky room has grown.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, right? See,
Look at that. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. So anytime people, of course I'm a Rocky fan.
Right.
We have Rocky rooms.
Yeah. Well, I tried to display some of my Rocky stuff.
I see that.
I see it.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Chris, of all the things that you have, that you've collected, your memorabilia, do you have one thing that is maybe you prefer over the others?
I have a cup. That's so hard. That's so hard. But I'll show you. I have this over here. I think this came out of like a few years ago. So it's by Taschen.
Yeah.
So I got
a big deal.
Yeah. So I splurged on this one and I got it. And so, yeah, this is probably like my biggest like treasure.
Right. And it's a great treasure.
Yeah.
That's a great book.
Yeah.
I do have that. I do. I love that. That's in my top 5 things. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's in my top 5 as well. And another one that I have, this I won on a contest on Instagram, and the artist, so it's a print of a painting he did.
Oh,
I won the contest, and he's from the UK. His name is Patrick Killian. And
he's very good. I know him.
You know him? Yeah. Okay. So I won this. Like, yeah. So I have this hanging right above, like behind my my computer there. But I thought I'd bring it up to show you. So those things, and then obviously I'm a DJ, so I love this. So it's a 12-inch single. It's sealed. It's still sealed. So I haven't opened it. Yeah, so I love this. I love that song. You know, I love
great.
the movie. I know it's Rocky 5. It's not, a lot of people's favorite, but it's
a cool thing to have.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I love it. So I love the music with Rocky, and including Rocky 5. So those would be my top 3, I guess, right?
Do you have a favorite? I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and then Stace, you jump in. So do you have a favorite song from the Rocky series, and what movie do you prefer musically?
Musically. Well, you know what? I love all the music from all the movies, right? But I would have to say 4 for the music. Just like, I listened to that cassette to death. I drove my mom crazy listening to it in the car all the time, driving.
Great.
So I have I think 3 copies of Rocky 4, the soundtrack on vinyl. I don't need 3, but I have 3.
Right.
Love it. It's just stacked, right? It's just stacked. Like every song, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And so I love that. But again, and 3 as well. I would say 3. I love that soundtrack too. We were introduced to Eye of the Tiger there with that one.
Yep.
So that's probably, I would say, the most popular song. If I had to choose one out of all the Rockies,
Eye of the Tiger.
That's got to be up there, right? Maybe Gonna Fly Now too. Everybody knows those 2 songs for sure, right? So, but if I have to choose one soundtrack, it would be 4.
Do you find yourself, depending on your state of mind, do you find yourself listening to different types of Rocky music or watching different Rocky movies? Depending on how reflective you are.
Yeah, that's a good question. I tend to, I've watched them all, I don't know how many times, but I tend to always go back to 3 and 4 a lot. Just a lot of memories with those. 3 was the first Rocky movie that I ever watched, so I have that sentimental value there. Rocky 4 was the first movie I ever saw in the theater.
Right.
My dad took me there, and it's just when Rocky hit Drago in that second round, I remember so I was about 7, maybe about 7 years old, and the whole theater it erupted. We're watching.
He's cut.
Yes,
he's cut.
We're watching an actual fight. I'll never forget that. Right.
Yeah.
So I tend to go back to those 2. I've watched them all with my family. I have a son, Oscar. He's watched them so many times. He's 10 years old and he can recite all the movies as well. But I mean, I go back and forth. We recently watched part 2, and that's probably the one that we haven't watched a lot of as a family. And
Yeah.
my wife, Natalie, like she even said, like, I love this one. And, you know,
Yeah.
there's more, I guess, more dialogue in that, and just with Adrian feeling slipping in that coma, and then having the kid as well.
Right.
Like, it was just, there's a lot of depth to that
Yes.
movie, and she loved it. So that came from her, and that was just like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So, but I would say 3 and 4 are probably the two I've watched the most. Right. So. Yeah,
Stacy, what do you think, Stacy? I think he's a pretty darn fine Rocky fan. That's what
Well, I mean, you're hitting the point. We definitely have the same opinions about the movies, because, like, Rocky 2, everything about the way he makes decisions changes, because now he's married, he has a child, everything changes because of that. And then Rocky 3 is my favorite. So when you said that, I was like, okay. We already have that because how many times in life you have to reinvent yourself? You have to let go of the old and try something new, and trust new people, and go about things in a new way. And that's what Apollo was for him. And he trusted somebody new. I just love his whole transition there.
That's exactly.
We have to do that in life. You know, I don't care if you're 50. Sometimes you got to scratch and start all over, learn something new, and trust, you know, that thing that rises up in you, and you're like, I got to do something different. You know what? If that's in you, do it. Go watch Rocky 3 and the music, because it's all about motivation, you know, and that music really propels you. So, and you said you worked out to Rocky 4, I think, on your thing that you filled out for us. Yeah,
Rocky 4. There's just, you hear that music all the time, whether, you know, it's in gyms or even at the boxing gym. Like, Rocky music does play. And going back to the soundtracks, like, they're all great in their own regard, but like with 3, that's why it's like, that's my favorite movie as well. So we share that in common. But I mean, it's the soundtrack to 3. It went to a new level. Introduced, you know, the Eye of the Tiger as well. So I had that rock hit on there as well, and just went through kind of like a funky, some funky song, like even like Take You Back. That song, they kind of did a different rendition of that song, right?
Yeah.
So, and I love it. It's just like the mood of that movie, the era that it came out in, and everything else that you touched on there, that friendship with Apollo. And change is inevitable. We got to embrace it, right? And he certainly did. And I just love that Thunderlips is in that as well. It's great. It's awesome. Like, that whole movie is great. So I love it to this day. Yeah.
So good. Okay, Mike, I thought you were about to say something. Go
I
ahead.
was, but then I thought you were going to say something.
You go.
No, you go.
Well, I just wanted to thank you. So I first found you because you're a DJ and you do all this and mixing with all the vinyl, and you move into one side. I think, it was, how many months ago was it? I reposted. I think it's one of our most viewed posts ever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Didn't Sly comment on it or something?
He did.
I was like, what? So that was very cool. So I want to, we'll be playing some of that. I can't play it here on YouTube, just so you know, because they will, they'll pull it down. But they do let me play it on Instagram. So I'm going to be doing some reposting as we promote you. But just very cool stuff. So I was just going to ask you how you got into DJing, and then of course I want to get into that boxing story. So start with the DJing.
So I've been DJing since 1995. So I was 18 when I started. Music was always, a passion of mine, and I was a drummer before I was a DJ. I have an older brother, Nick, and he was a drummer, so I kind of followed in his footsteps. And then I just loved music, and I tried to do something else with music, and I DJ'd my brother's Stag and Do. That was my first gig, and I'm like, this is great. And I never thought I'd make a living out of playing other people's music, but here I am, and that's my livelihood. That's what I do. So with all the vinyl that you see behind me there, like, that's when I started DJing, I was buying vinyl and CD. So it was kind of like the transition point from vinyl to CD at that point, and I was kind of buying both. And I never got rid of it. If anything, I still buy vinyl. I don't DJ with it anymore, but now it's all kind of like it's digital, right? You DJ with you have software, you have a controller, and you DJ basically with MP3s. But I'm quite capable of still DJing with vinyl, and that's why I post those those videos, when I do those live, like quick mega mixes, like the Rocky one, it's just using vinyl. Like, it's still impressive to do that with a controller and using MP3 files, but it's much more, you have much more skill by doing it with vinyl. It's just, it's a lot harder work. The transitioning, you know, physically taking the vinyl off, getting the new one in there, finding like the cue point. That takes a lot of like work, where it's just easier with digital. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why and it looks cooler. It looks cooler DJing with vinyl. It just does. So that's why I have it. This is my office here, and I just have like the Technics 1200s still set up there. That's the turntables and all my vinyl. So yeah, so that's why I did that. And I have a couple different copies of the Rocky soundtrack, so I could go back and forth with some of the same songs. So that I think I did 2 other Rocky ones in the past, and I know there was the one that you reposted. I think it was the No Easy Way Out one.
I did all 3. The 3 that I saw.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
So, I think I'm one of the few people who I have no music on my phone. I have no music.
Oh, really?
I still use an iPod. I don't want to use my phone because when I have my iPod, I don't have my phone anywhere near me. I don't want to be bothered. I'm in the moment.
Right.
I'm in the music, the moment. It's your I'm there. I don't want to be bothered by the outside world. I need to vent.
Yeah.
And I know my iPod's going to die someday. You can't even get iPods anymore for the most part. You really can't.
That's why I went out and bought a couple. When I heard that they were discontinued them, I went and bought a couple of them, man. And I have them. So I still have them here at home.
Good for you.
Yeah.
iPhone.
So you don't use like a streaming service like Spotify to listen to music. It's just iPod.
I have Spotify, and I use it for my Christmas music that I listen to all year long. But no, I just have my iPod. I'm old school Walkman. Like that's it. I'm Walkman.
Love it.
I don't want to be bothered by the outside world for the hour or 2 hours I'm jamming out. So I love that. I know at some point I am going to have to put, and I have an Android, I don't have an iPhone, but I know at some point I am going to, I know. Yeah, listen,
it's time, honey. iPhone.
Apples suck, man. I am not an Apple person.
No, they
Although
don't.
I have an iPod. So
iPhone.
listen, I'm a hypocrite.
Those Android people. Ugh.
Yeah, you're just holding on, right? And that's how I was with DJing too, with new technology coming out. Like, it took me a while to switch over to DJ digitally. Like, I mean, I was still using CDs up till 2010. So that's when I switched over. And a lot of my friends that are DJs, they had switched to, DJing with, a software like Serato, like way before I did. But I mean, I just like it
physical,
the physical aspect of it. I like even going from vinyl to CDs. Like when I started, it was that transition. But I mean, at least I could still touch it and feel it and see it. Like with an MP3, like I was scared to DJ with it. But I mean, it is much more practical. You don't have to lug around all the vinyl. And
right.
It makes sense, right? So
how do you know when you're listening? Like I saw the one Rocky mashup you did, and I thought it was wonderful. How do you know? Is there a formula, or is it just by ear? You just listen. I'm going to cut it in at this point.
Yeah, it's just a lot on feel. And so I was just thinking about, first, it came down to what songs I want to use, and I love using like the Take You Back, and then I was like, maybe I can use another song there too. And how about I just play a certain piece of, maybe 3 songs, and then go to like the mashup that I want to do, right? So that's where the prep work has to be in there. If you're doing it digitally, you can set up the cue points on the MP3 file on the software, and it's easily done. Here with vinyl, you mix in and out, take it out, and then get the other record on there, and then go from there. And it's, and to make it that smooth transition, it's got to be kind of like precise, right?
Yeah.
With the mashup, so the mashup, it was just playing I did No Easy Way Out, and I just used like a house beat, a dance beat from the 90s, which is it was a song by the Bucketheads. It was a pretty big club hit, but it was just the beats of that song that I used. And they went well together. I tried a couple other songs, but that beat just went really well with No Easy Way Out, and then it just it sounded good. Played with some effects, and I'm doing it all live, as you can see the video. It's fun. I always like doing stuff like that, especially with hip hop records. It's really popular with hip hop records because when you buy the 12-inch, like the DJs would always buy 12-inch singles, and when you buy a 12-inch single, like the one I showed you there of like the reason why we love those. They usually had like an a cappella or an instrumental of a song on there, or maybe a different version of the songs that we love, right? And so that's why I would get the 12 inches. And with hip hop records, you take a beat from maybe one song and then a cappella of another, and then play them together. I did that a lot when I was getting into DJing, and being a drummer, I caught on to it pretty quickly, I think. Just
could you do a song? And maybe you and I should just do a Zoom call on this, because I have this. It just hit me. I could see you doing this. You take you back and going the distance. So
I could do that. Yeah, I could do that.
I could just imagine at key points putting in Take You Back. And this is Rocky musically telling Apollo, I'm going to take you back to club fighting. I'm going to mug you before, and that take you back. And and you just hear it to go in the distance. I would love to hear your version of this.
All right, I'm just writing that down.
You have homework, Chris.
I just gave myself goosebumps thinking of the potential of this.
It's I've had people in the past. Actually, recently, there's a boxer that I know who has a fight coming up, and he wanted a mashup of two songs together, right? And it was Hell's Bells and the what's the name of it? It's the Clint Eastwood movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's just like the theme of that song.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yes, yes, that one. And I did that, and it actually sounded really, really good. And I would never have thought of that. Yeah. So
where can we hear that one?
That one I just sent to him. That was
okay.
Yeah, because he's going to use that for his ring entrance.
I got you.
But I mean, I could definitely send that to you so you could hear it. And another one I did. Hear it. Yeah, another one I did for a boxer was Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J and Duran Notorious. So you never think of but just putting that notorious notorious in between.
Mama Said Knock You Out.
Yeah.
Notorious.
I love it.
So that's how.
Great.
So now I'm gonna have to do this one for you. I was just writing down the song so I remember, and I promise I'll do that for you, and I'll send it to you. Okay.
I love that.
Something like that, I would probably I wouldn't do that live with the records. I might try it out, but in order to get it sound like good and actually make a full track, I probably would like software that I use when I create my own production.
I gotcha.
We'll have to try to post it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
It's stuff like that. Like there's a thing out there, and I'm sure you've heard it. It's it's gonna kill me. I can't. I don't know the name of it. It's called "We Took Pelham."
Yeah, it sounds good. And if you didn't know the Going the Distance song, you might never have thought it would.
Might not ever have thought that they played this in Tokyo in about 12, 13, 14 years ago. Stallone was doing an interview there, and he was doing some project or whatever, and he comes out on stage. And this is the first time I heard the song. It might have even been 17 years ago for Rocky Balboa. And when he comes out, he comes out to this song, and it was just amazing. And I said, what the hell is that song? And a friend of mine in the UK said, that's We Took Pelham. And I thought, oh my God, that's incredible. And the only reason I said about the Travolta movie is because it's the name of a movie, something Pelham. We Took Pelham or whatever. Yeah.
So it's not in the movie.
No, not in the movie. Not in the movie.
So yeah, what I want to know about that song is the beat that is used, because I don't recognize the beat, right?
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's a mashup, because there's differences, right? Like with a mashup, it's like when you take two songs that are two existing songs and then put them together, right, and creating your own. A remix could be, taking Going the Distance and then me creating my own beat and some other additional elements, like other maybe synths, bass, and adding it to it. So that would be like a remix, right? So there are differences, and then there's the edit where you just use the same song. So Going the Distance, where you're just using all the elements from that song only, but maybe making it your own. Right. And then right? So those are different. So just remember, like mashups, and I don't expect people that aren't DJs to know this, but that's what a mashup is where you just basically take one song and another song and you make it your own, right? So with that could very well be a mashup, but to me, it's there's a little bit more production to it, where whoever created it added some of their own maybe beats that they might have done. I heard some synths in there that went too well with that. So it's like maybe the guy that released it or made it actually played on it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the shit I love to work out to. this is what I love to jam to, man.
Awesome.
I gotta let go of everything.
Right.
This is what I love. That type of music. It just right to my DNA, man.
Yeah, it's great. Well, I remember when they sampled that song in that Puff Daddy track in the 90s. I think you heard that, right? And it had Busta Rhymes on it. Yeah, that was amazing. When I first heard that, I'm like, this is so good.
And I remember that. I had never heard anything so visceral before.
Right.
It just went together so well.
It was beautiful. That's them. So that's not a mashup, right? That's them. They used a sample. So that they sampled that song. And hip hop, not just hip hop, a lot of like music, a lot of genres of music, but especially hip hop, they're just known to sample a lot of other people's beats, like Beastie Boys, like the drums on their one album there. Their first album, that's like a lot of it came from like Led Zeppelin, John Bonham playing.
Oh, really?
So hip hop, they sample a lot of like beats, bass lines, whatever, vocals. They're like all genres of music do it, but hip hop is, and the thing is, it's a skill. People might think, it's like you're stealing, but I mean, you're still being creative, and just like look what they did with that song that we just talked about. It's great. It's not easy to do.
Stacy, this is a topic I could go on and on and on. Stacy, you are the queen of Rocky. Bring us back to Rocky, will you?
No, but it is cool, and it's funny about copyright. I mean, there's only so many combinations before you're, you know what I'm saying? Before you do sound like something else.
Ed Sheeran just went through a whole case like this.
Yeah, that's the thing with pop music. Like, I mean, like a lot of the songs are created on the same kind of like chord structures.
Right.
So it's not. I'm not saying like he would like plagiarize. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm sure it does. Right. But I mean, there's so much music that has been made, and it's bound for something like that to happen. And sometimes, you know what? It sounds like, too close to it, where maybe they did steal and they didn't give credit. Right. So. Yeah.
Remember, this is the last thing, and then we got to go back to Rocky. I could just see people clicking off. Goodbye, y'all a bunch of goofy tomatoes. I'm out of here. I'm out of the live chat. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So, do you remember, Chris, when Vanilla Ice?
Yeah,
he had to go through his ding 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 ding. He goes, no, it ain't like that. It's ding 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 dong. That's the difference.
That's
really? Vanilla Ice? That's the difference, because it's identical to me.
Yeah, that's a great point. At that time, though, a lot of artists were getting away with sampling and not giving credit to the sample, to the original sample. Where now
you got to give credit. Give credit
and royalties, right? So
Well, this is a great segue to go back to Rocky, because we all know the big fight that Sly has had for the last 40 plus years to get some of the rights back, right?
Yeah.
And the one I remember, not only did I write this to him, but I also talk about this on tours. Nobody I have ever met, and I have met a lot of fans over the years, nobody has ever said, "Hey, Chris, did you ever see that Irwin Winkler movie called Rocky?" Nobody says that.
No.
Nobody says, "Did you ever see that movie? The John Avildsen movie, Rocky?" No. Hey, did you ever see Stallone's Rocky? Oh yeah. Everybody knows. Now, okay, monetarily, Stallone did not get his just dues that he should have had for that. Okay, it was taken from him immorally. Maybe it was done legally, but immorally. Stacy, is immorally a word? I believe I just made that up.
Unethically, maybe.
Unethically?
Unethically?
Unethically. I think Stacy and I are both off. But anyways, anyways, yeah. So this is a thing you will always be known. Like Vanilla Ice, that's a great song he did. I love that rap. It was brilliant. Rolling with my 5.0. I mean, come on, top down so my hair can blow. I mean, it really is a great tune. I love it.
Yeah.
But no one's going to say that he took so-and-so's song. They're never going to say that it was off of his. They're always going to remember. So that's why you got to give
a lot of
credit.
people don't know, though, either. That's the thing.
You're right. You're right.
Younger people, like, they won't, like, somebody that was, like, maybe 10 years old when that came out,
yeah,
won't know that was a Queen song, right?
Right.
True.
Right.
Hammer with Can't Touch This. That's Rick James, man. Like, right? So that's where that bass line came from. But, I mean, so the older people will know. Right, because they probably remember that bass line when it first came out, right? With David.
Exactly.
Right? So that's the thing. So, those are some of the. So that's kind of like a generational thing. But I mean, if you're really, like a music nerd, and you read the liner notes on the records when there was records, right? You can gather all that information, and it still happens to this day. Like even with new music sampling.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
Stacy. Did you tell me that Chris had a boxing story?
He has a boxing story. Which, I bet you were training to a lot of the Rocky music for this. I love this. Go ahead, tell us.
Absolutely. Well, I first got introduced to boxing in 2015. My best friend Phil brought me to a local boxing gym, which is called Sid Fit, which is owned and operated by Sid Vanderpool, and he was a professional boxer. And I loved it and fell in love with it. And then, Sid actually planted the seed in my head to actually compete. And that was never the plan. And then I tried out for a Golden Gloves tournament that was taking place in Kitchener. I live in Kitchener-Waterloo. So for anybody listening that doesn't know the Southern Ontario too well, it's about an hour west of Toronto. And so then I tried out, I made it, and I had 2 fights in Golden Gloves in 2016, and I won my first fight, and I was in the finals, and I did lose the final fight. But it was it was just such a great experience. I learned a lot about myself, and then now, like, I thought that was it. Like, I wasn't planning on boxing again. Then I saw that there's this charity event taking place called Champions for Charity, and when I saw, there's the picture there. That's a recent picture of me training.
Nice.
Champion for Charity, and it's Sid is involved again. He's one of the sponsors, and all the training is being done at Sid Fit. And there's 2 teams. There's a red team and a blue team. And Champions for Charity, the founder is Mandy Bujold, and she was a boxer as well. She was she represented Canada in the Olympics twice.
Nice.
That's her in the ring there. And,
wow.
She has a lot of boxing achievements, won a gold medal at the Pan American Games as well, and a bunch of other stuff. So she's the founder of Champions for Charity, and it's a fundraiser for McMaster Children's Hospital, which is located in Hamilton, Ontario. And so this is the second time that she's done this. And the first time was, I believe, in 2019. And then pandemic hit, and here we are again. And we just hit $300,000, and it's remarkable. It's remarkable, and it's just the camaraderie between my teammates, Team Red all the way, go Team Red. It's great, and it's a grueling. The training is grueling, and it takes a lot from us all. Like we all have jobs and lives, but but we're training 4 times a week together, and it just brought us close. That picture's from Golden Gloves in 2016, and that's Sid Vanderpool right there. He's my coach, and man, he's awesome. He just has a wealth of knowledge of the sport. He's been around it his whole life, and it's just, I find it's like a privilege just to train with him and all my teammates. And it's just such a good cause. And the fight's happening on April 12th, and it's coming up, and we're all ready. And it's kind of bittersweet, right? We're like a family, and we train every morning, 7:00 in the morning, right? And being a DJ, I have a lot of late nights and early mornings, but I wouldn't want to start the day off with anybody else than my team. They're wonderful people. We all come from different backgrounds, right?
Really?
like graphic designers to like, it's all like everybody on the team basically has never boxed before. Right. So like I have boxed like once before, but I mean, I wasn't heavily involved in the sport. And but I mean, we have, you know, police officers, graphic designers, chefs, you know, another teammate's a butcher. So we come from all different walks of life. And you know, we're here to step in the ring and do some damage to the blue team. So I hope they're listening to this, right? So yeah, and it's going to be a great event. It's sold out in minutes. So over 500.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's over 500 people. And it's like
that's amazing.
A glamour, like Las Vegas themed event this year. So there's going to be a dinner along like with the fights, and it's kind of black tie affair. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. And my boy's going to be there as well. So I'm excited that he's actually going to like see me. Yeah, because it's important, and you know, it just shows that, you know, you're never too old to do something like
something new.
Right. No, it's true.
I'm 46, and it's actually couldn't have come at a better time because he's going to be turning 11, and he has his own first competition coming up in Taekwondo. So it's
nice.
So it's really exciting. It's a really exciting time. So it's
I think that's one of the best things parents can do for kids. There are two great things parents should and could do for their children. Number one, get them involved in Rocky early.
And I did.
That's number one. Number two is I love the Taekwondo, karate, any of those sports that teach discipline. I don't know, maybe boxing or maybe MMA shouldn't be taught at 10 years old, but I love the Taekwondo, karate type of thing. The discipline it gives you at an early age as you go forward and you start, because after 10, you know, that's 11 and 13. Now you're starting to become a young adult. And you're going to deal with those pressures in the world. And I think having self-discipline, understanding the value of what drugs and alcohol can do to you at the wrong age. Okay. I think that is a great way, because that's almost addicting when you go to do these sports where you have to focus on yourself. I mean, my God, Oscar can do this forever. Who knows?
Yeah. And you know what? You're right. You're 100% right. And he's been in Taekwondo since he was 3. So like he's going for his next grading for his double black stripe. So like, which means like he's only 2 belts away from his like black belt. Yeah, that's him there. Because he actually, Sid has a great program there called Tiny Champs, and that was him when he did Tiny Champs at Sid Fit, right? So he took boxing for a little bit as well. And the thing is, it's important, not only like they teach you the science, like I know it's fighting, but they teach you this, and you don't have to compete, but it doesn't hurt to know how to defend yourself. And a lot of these, it does build confidence, and it transfers to life. It does. It transfers to life and other sports. Like he even trains like at Sit Fit. They train a lot of hockey players there on the off season.
Oh, neat.
And I love squash. I play squash a lot. Not now because I'm in like boxing mode, but I mean. I remember how boxing, the first time around I was boxing, and it transferred over to squash, and it actually made me a better squash player. And you would never connect the two sports, but they are similar. It's one-on-one. You're in a confined space. You're kind of slugging it out in squash. You're not hitting the other person, and you're not supposed to, but it does happen sometimes with the rackets. But the footwork involved, and it's also a grueling sport. Fitness has to be, you know, top notch. So it actually helped my game there as well. So it is important. It's important.
That's amazing.
I'm glad Oscar's doing that, and hopefully he pursues it and continues it as he gets older, because things can happen. Like when you hit when I stopped, I was playing lots of sports up till I was like 17, 18. And then, you know, that was it. I got into DJing and, you know, partying and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was playing sports. I was on the ski club. I was on the track team. I was on the football team. All right. And I was horrible, right? I was horrible, but I was on the team.
That's the important.
You still did it. And then a little phenomenon came across my radar called girls. GIRLS. That's it. Girls, that's great. If you're a scholastic, you know, standout, you're on the field or running or skiing or whatever. Okay, that's great. Chicks will dig that. But if you're not, you're no good at those sports, you can't fall back on that. Girls like a guy with a car. They don't want a guy with a pair of Nikes walking to the pizza place for a date. They would prefer a car. And so I tried, never had a date. Never had a date with a car in high school, ever. Never. So I had to walk everywhere. So I get it. You can't get derailed very quickly.
It can happen, for sure.
Yeah, no, but it just sounds like your whole world there's a lot of Rocky-esque moments in your life that this character has given. That you love, and it's no surprise that you love this character the way that you do, right? I mean, Stace, what do you think?
Right. Well, I wanted to show off what he's doing as a dad to this adorable. I mean, he's so cute, and I know these are younger pictures, but so here's a birthday invitation that you guys used.
Yeah.
When all right, and that was like the page 2, and here's the cake. Right.
Yeah. Look at that.
Nice.
And here he is. Just now he's 4 here. So this is a while ago, but just doing the Rocky dad thing. It's just
that ought to be in a frame somewhere in the house.
Oh yeah. He loves Rocky, and he knows so much. He knows so much about all the movies, right? And he always loved 5. He always called that fighting on the streets. That's how he called Rocky 5.
Oh, okay.
So he loved that one a lot. But I mean, his Rocky knowledge is pretty good for a 10.
Oh, that's great.
And the other one I want to show, and Mike, this is for you. So like how far back Chris's Rocky love goes. How about 1986?
Oh, look at that Rocky 4. Look at that.
Look at that sweatshirt, man. I love that.
That's right. Yeah. I had 2. I had that one, and the other one was I had the American flag and the Russian flag and like a picture of Rocky and Drago, but I have no pictures of that one. But,
hey, listen, really? go back to Santa for a minute. I wanna take a look at Santa's face. That's the tannest Santa I ever saw. He ain't getting no sun up at the North Pole like that.
That was in Canada, man.
He's got to be 99% Italian. I tell you. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. I just want to get through your pictures. So this is DJing at Pearl. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I sent you some pictures of just what I do. That was New Year's Eve. So Pearl is no longer around, but it was end of an era when it closed down. It was called before Pearl. It was called Revolution and the Flying Dog. Very popular nightclubs in Waterloo, and that was New Year's Eve. Yeah, so that would have been New Year's Eve in 2015, and that's just DJing there. So I did a lot of nightclub work, especially when I first started out. That's where I wanted to be. Then I was always still DJing the weddings primarily. That's what I do now. Especially for the last 12 years, I would say I've been DJing weddings, more focusing on that. The clubs were great. They were fun. There's really not a lot of them around like there used to be. So I don't know. You're located in Philadelphia, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how it is there, but up here, just, a lot of the clubs, they have closed down. So there's still some, but I mean, not like it used to be, especially when I first started like DJing. There was always.
All right. So you're doing a wedding. All right.
Yeah.
You're doing a wedding. And I know that, you have to go back and forth with the couple and see what kind of music they're interested in or whatever. And so like at some point, do you ever just say to yourself, you look around the room, nobody's dancing yet. You got your list. But then people, crowds, trends and so on. Do you ever just say, oh, man, I'm cutting loose. I know they didn't put this on the list, but I'm going nuts. Dun, 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 and just go nuts. Did that ever happen to you? Or because that could burn you. Maybe they'll cut back the check or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, for sure. Yeah. So like definitely like I would say like 90% of my clients would give me like a list of songs they want played, but that's not all I play. Right. So they do want, obviously they want their guests to dance, and they might give me songs they don't want played. So I have to factor that in as well. So if I see something's not working, then I go and try and play something that I think
you got freedom.
I definitely have freedom.
Okay. 100%. That's what I'm getting at. Good.
100%. I have freedom. I don't just go by what they ask me to play, but I'll do my best to play all the songs that they want. And generally I do. but I definitely had freedom there. And the thing is, the beautiful thing about a wedding as opposed to a nightclub, as long as, you know, you have the knowledge, it's so many different styles of music that you play at a wedding, right? You have different age groups, right?
You got different generations at a wedding.
Tons.
Yeah.
So, and you want to, basically, you want to play, people want to dance to what they know, right? So you're playing the hits from the different decades. And really, how much of dance time are there? Generally, I would say on average, 3 hours, maybe 4, right? Sometimes some weddings, the dancing starts really ridiculously early, but, you know, it doesn't happen that often. So I would say on average, you know, the dancing might start at 9 or 10 o'clock. And then, you know, the venue closes at 1 or 2, right? Yeah. So you're playing the hits. Sometimes you dig a little bit deeper and play some, you know, some maybe B-sides or whatever, if that's what the bride and groom wanted. Requests from the guests, I'm there to play for them as well.
because I could imagine all the generations that the general generations that are out there, you got to be able to go from the Beatles to Beyonce, right? I mean,
no, you're right. 100%.
Yeah, and maybe before the Beatles, even. I mean, you may have to do, what's the big band? What's that big band song?
The Swing in the Mood, or in the Mood.
That's it. That's In the Mood. That's it. Yeah, and so that's going back, the Count Basie band, right? So
exactly.
And you got to be on that. So that could be a little bit of pressure. I could see that.
It can be pressure, but I have been doing it for a long time, and I feel comfortable. Like, I feel comfortable behind the DJ booth, and that's where, like, experience and age, I guess, is can be a benefit as a DJ.
Totally.
Having doing it for so long, since '95, right? So, like, I remember the songs, like, when I first got into it, what was working, the hits then. And now it's funny because a lot of people getting married now, they do want a lot of '90s, early 2000s music, right?
Yeah.
So, and they'll let you know what they want to hear, but I also remember at that time what was big, right? Where when I started out in '95, I wasn't around DJing in '77. That's when I was born. Yeah. So, you know, you have to do your research, and you have a mentor. A mentor is very important. And I had I actually had a couple of mentors when I first got into the business, and they helped me out a lot. And, you know, and taking any kind of gig that can come your way and listening to different styles of music. I always say, like, music is like food. You don't always eat the same thing, right? It's nice to have variety. Same thing with music. Like, I love all kinds of music, and it's not like, you know, the music that I play at a wedding, it's not, I know it very well. It's not like that's what I choose to listen to, though. You know, because I played the songs a lot of the times, and I have my personal choices as well. But it's nice to expand your horizons and listen to different stuff, right? That's how I am. But I love music as well, though. So
so give me your top 5 people on your. I know you don't have an iPod, but if you had an iPod, who are your top 5 artists that you like? That all personal.
Yeah, personal. Well, just like Rocky. Like, he's embedded in my DNA from a young age. So is Kiss. So those are 2 things. If you know me well, you know that I love Rocky and I love Kiss. So Kiss, and I have a picture of Kiss over there. So Kiss is cool. Kiss is number 1. Like, for me, right. You know, by default, it has to be, right. So Kiss is there. I do like my metal music as well. So I guess. I like Black Sabbath a lot. I like In Excess a lot. For dance music, I was a big fan of Armin van Helden, so I like him. If you're not familiar with him, you'll definitely know some of his songs if you were to hear him. So I like.
What was his name? Armin van Helden.
Armin van Helden. Yeah, I remember I had somebody request one of his songs when he was huge, and they called him Armin van Halen. So things like that happen all the time. It's actually funny when people request songs, like, and they mess it up. Like Sweet Dreams by the Arithmetics. That's a true story.
Oh my God, I love that story. I love that.
Things like that, right? So
Arithmetics? It just registered by the Arithmetics.
Yeah. Hey, can you play the Arithmetics? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's stuff hilarious. That's stuff hilarious. So yeah, I like those 3. So many different styles of music. There's another band out of Texas. They're called Krungbin. I really got into them the last couple years. They're great, and they're getting more popular as well. I like EPMD for hip hop. They're popular 80s,
really?
90s. Yeah. So these are all, I'm just trying to throw different artists your way that I like, right? So, but all kinds, like obviously, like in popular stuff. Like I mentioned Rick James earlier. I love Rick James. So all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff.
You know, you remind me of a friend of mine. I have a friend. Stacy, I don't even know if I told you this, Stace. I talked to Jess, Runner 1818.
Runner Jess, yep.
Yeah. So I talked to her maybe, I don't know, I'll pick up the phone and call her 5 or 6 times throughout the year, right? And she is one of these people that is out there musically. Okay, she's a big Springsteen fan, right? So she'll send me Springsteen. But she is as varied
diverse,
as you are, Chris. She listens to some music that I have goofed on her about that is absolutely horrific in my ears. It's horrible, but
it's so subjective. Music is so
right.
Oh my God, is it ever? And so I get that. When I hear you say that, I hear her, what she's told me over the years, and I hear some other friends of mine who have been into that. I have a friend named Joe who's very eclectic musically. Stacy, don't you think a lot of people in our Rocky bubble are going to love Chris just because everybody's gone to a wedding?
Right.
They can understand what a DJ has to do. And so maybe they will link into this guy. Now, listen, before we let Chris get out of here, Stacy, what else you got for Chris?
Well, to answer your question, yes, I have no doubt everyone's going to love you because all the themes are there. The way you raise your son, the things that you've dared to try, just daring to try, you capture all the themes in your life, even if it wasn't, well, you do have actual in the ring things, but there's all types of fights. And you've talked about all those things and just being trainable. You talked about having a mentor and all that. You have to be trainable. And some people can't accept guidance and not only accepting guidance, but we should be looking for it, not being jealous of people. What can we learn from that person? Like that, you capture all those things, all very, very Rocky things. So no, you're going to do great. I mean, people are going to love you. You're easy. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for welcoming me in as well.
This is why I have people fill out this guest form. It's not, it gives us a little flavor of who you are and what Rocky has meant to you and how you've applied it to your life, so that's what we love, those details, because the way it applies, what it meant for you. For one person, it's helping them fight cancer. And for another person, it's the loss of their parent, or, that Rocky philosophy applies. Now back to the music. Yeah. And what you were saying about Jess and, and how eclectic we can be, it's also what was going on, what was playing in the background during that portion of our life. So maybe sometimes the love for that song or that genre, it might be memories linked. Of
course, we do. We do attach memories to music, just like a scent as well.
Right.
You remember things, and music does that for me. So, and how many times have I heard those Rocky songs, and it's still, let the hair stand up on my arm.
Yeah.
So obviously, they did something right with the music, right? And it is still, and it's resonated with so many people. And that's why I love the movies, but the music that goes along with it too. Like the soundtrack is a huge part of a movie, and they've nailed it with every single one of the Rockies. And again,
Chris, did you know, Chris, that Bill Conti, he was inspired by an Italian opera that was 400 years old to play the Rocky music? That's where that came from.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, I'll send you. You know what, Chris? I'll send you the link of the song that Bill Conti played for John Avildsen, and he had to tweak this. The opening 20 seconds of this song is 400 years old. It's the opening of an Italian opera, and that is Fanfare for Rocky. When we see ROCKY, and Conti took that and then he tweaked the second half of it. It's incredible.
It goes back to what we were just what we were talking about with sampling and taking it. And and I've heard other artists say this before, but nothing's wrong with that's the great thing about listening to other styles of music. Like you could be in a metal band, but listen to Motown, and get inspired. Absolutely, and get inspired by a bass line there. Make it your own. And make it into like a metal song, and there you go. Like you can get inspiration and ideas from anywhere, especially from other styles of music. And that, and look at this one, I didn't know about that. Doesn't surprise me at all, but that's a cool fact. That's such a cool fact.
It was in free domain, and so he did that. You know what? You got me on it. I got to play it for you, Stace. You're gonna have to cut this. Here. Give me. We're gonna get you out of here shortly. I promise. I know you got a life. I know you got things to do. Let me play this for you. It's really short. Rocky music. I gotta play 2 short things for you. All right. So listen to the first 20 seconds, and you'll hear where it changes. Now this is 400 years old right here.
Wow.
Right. The opening of the play. Right here it changes. Not Rocky.
Wow. That's incredible. I had no idea.
So the director goes to Bill Conti and he says, Bill, I need something to open the movie. And he goes, okay, listen to this. This is incredible. And he goes, I love that. But the last 20 seconds, it's like a coronation of a king or a queen. He goes, I don't like that. He goes, it's no problem. It's in free domain. I'll rewrite the song, the second half of the song. Thus was born the Rocky music. Now,
Unreal. So he made it his own, right?
He made it his own, and it became original. Now, let me play this. This may blow your mind. Listen to this. It's in Italian, but give me a few seconds on this. Boom.
Wow.
Hello. End of the movie.
That's remarkable. And Bill Conti did that one as well, right?
Okay, so here's the story on this.
And when was that one released? That one there.
Okay. This was released in 1972. So
okay, not too long before.
Not too long, but Bill Conti was a starving, struggling musician back before Rocky. And he used to write Italian jingles for Italian pop stars.
Yeah.
Back then, there wasn't a lot of money to be paid. So Bill Conti was given some money, but he was also given the rights to his own music that he wrote for Italian pop stars. So when when Avildsen comes to Conti and he says, Bill, I need something for the end of the movie. Rocky's in the ring. The bell rings. Adrian's trying to get to him. I need something. And he goes, why don't you try this? And he plays it and he goes, oh my God, this is exactly how I want to end the movie. He goes, but there's no more money in the budget. We paid $18,000. There's no money left. And he goes, you already have it. I wrote this and I own it. He goes, wow, you can have it for Rocky. And that's it. This is where it came from. Unbelievable.
Wow. I love that. Crazy. I've never heard that before at all. That is wild, man.
And you come to me, buddy. I got all the answers on Rocky. I don't know how to pay my bills, but I got answers on Rocky.
Yeah, you do. No wonder you're into music and you like the mashups and the remixes and stuff. Look at this.
It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Okay, got to bring this back to Rocky. Got to end this podcast at some point.
This is great. No, this is great. I'm keeping this. This is all good.
I'm having so much fun. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Stacy. Any last words for Chris? And Chris, how do we say your last name? Mihas?
Yeah, Mihas. Yeah,
Mihas. Okay, I just want to make sure because when I do stuff on to promote this, I want to make sure I say your name right.
Yeah, thanks.
Stace, any last words for Chris?
Just thank you. I mean, great energy. You have such positivity, and you were a lot of fun. Great stories. It went fast. I just really enjoyed your interview. So, and I appreciate you joining us like this because, we just connected and I saw you said, "Oh, huge Rocky fan." And I reached out to you. I'm like, "Okay, so how come you haven't filled out a guest form?"
I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah, but thank you
So I'm
for
just
having me
glad,
on.
and he did it right away, and here we are. So thank you for doing that. You're a ton of fun.
Hey, I have a question for the both of you. What are your favorite soundtracks from the Rocky series?
It depends.
It depends on your mood. Yeah.
Yeah, because of course Rocky 3 and 4, what you said. It's like I can be such a bum when I'm trying, I'm trying to get into a fitness routine and there's no motivation. You turn that on, it propels you, it motivates you.
Yeah.
But then, when I'm in a more mellow mood or just, putzing around the house, I'm going to do Rocky 1 and 2, something that is more ambient or more background, but sets a feel and it's calming. So for me, I love it all.
That's nice.
For me, it depends on what I'm doing.
Cool.
I have to piggyback exactly what Stacy said. Same thing. It depends on your mood. However, it's not 3 or 4. I go Rocky 1. That is my DNA. Okay.
Right.
But sometimes I am in a mood where I'm unsure and I need to listen to Redemption, from Rocky 2. Okay.
Love it. Yeah.
Then it's Rocky Balboa, those gentle undertones that we hear in the background, those are callbacks with a little twinge, a little tweak to them, right?
Yeah.
So when he's talking to little Marie and he's trying to get her to come down to the restaurant, and, there's this softness. But then I want in the same moment, within seconds, I want to be taken out of the softness that my brain is emotionally at. And I want to hear 3-6 Mafia. It's a fight. It's a fight. I want to get, let's go.
Right.
So it depends on where we are mentally and emotionally. And I think across the board, I'm a Springsteen guy, but I'm also Gaga. I'm also Dean Martin. I'm also, oh my God, Jesus, there's some new broad today to come out. I heard her music. I like Beyonce's new country thing. I never thought I'd be saying that.
Right. That's good. It's good to have.
I love that. Sure.
Springsteen's still going strong, man. Like Springsteen is still going strong.
I just left my ass off at Bruce. He was on Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
He was throughout the whole episode. Do yourself a favor. Go watch this past Sunday's Last Curb. Bruce is in it. Larry gives him COVID, and Bruce is cursing and swearing. Oh, it's great. It's great.
That's hilarious.
Okay. 2 questions, then you're out of here, Chris.
Okay.
What does you said you're 46?
I'm 46, yeah.
46. What is if you could travel back in time, what does a 46-year-old Chris tell a 21-year-old Chris?
Oh boy. Honestly, just stick with what you're doing. I really don't have a lot of regrets, and I'm a believer into like choose your regrets, right? In life. So it's all about choices that we make in life. If I had to say one thing, I probably would tell him to quit drinking earlier. So like
okay.
Drinking and DJing, they go hand in hand, and especially when you're young and when you're chasing
right,
like you said, right? So it was really easy to drink in that environment, and I haven't touched alcohol in 12 years. So
good for you.
I just feel it wasn't like it was a huge problem. I wasn't an alcoholic, but I definitely abused it. I drank too much.
Yeah,
but great things happened after I stopped drinking, right?
Right.
I got in shape, made better decisions, overall decisions, right? So I probably would tell him that, and I don't know if he would listen to me, right? Like at 21, like I was DJing on a cruise ship, and that's when I started drinking. So I'd probably tell me to get lost, right? So, but that's probably what I would tell him, right? But everything panned out.
I love that. Everything worked out. I love that. Okay, last question.
Yeah,
you're in an office building.
Yeah,
you go to the elevator. You have to go up 10 floors. You've got, 25, 30 seconds. When you walk into the elevator, it's you and Sylvester Stallone. The doors close. What do you say to him?
Oh boy. I I probably would be starstruck and I would fumble every single word that would come out of my mouth. Yeah. I would probably thank him. I think I would thank him for being an inspiration in my life and, you know, the millions of other people, but definitely thank him. He's, like I said earlier, his character Rocky is embedded in my DNA, and not just Rocky, a lot of the other characters and movies he's made, they're so good. And but Rocky is iconic, so I would thank him for that. But if I had to ask a question, I'd be like, where's the autobiography? I want an autobiography from him. And like, he's a writer, right? He's a writer, a director. And I have his one book he came out. I think, as far as I know, that's the only one he released.
Sly Moves.
Yeah, I have that. And he touches on things there, which is great. But I know he could write a great, you know, book about his life, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he is doing that or not, but if I had to ask him one question, I would thank him for being him and ask him if he would ever write an autobiography and, you know, sign it for me.
Those are great questions. And I can tease you with this. The second question, as far, you know, are you writing an autobiography? Yes, he is. He's
good.
Writing he's been working on it for a while, and he wants to be as totally transparent and open and honest as possible. And I think he has someone helping him with it because he wants to make sure it's as accurate and honest as possible. And I'm excited.
It'd be so good. So good.
He's also doing another book too. It's an inspirational book, and I can't wait to. You know how Arnold did the seven things you should do in life. I just finished reading it. It just came out like 2 months ago or something.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sly was asked to do one of these books from his point of view, and so look for that coming out. Not sure when, but soon.
Yeah. I'm sure his autobiography alone would be inspiring, right? So, but that'd be great.
It better be Harry Potter size.
Yeah.
Okay. It better be thick.
Yeah.
I better be able to kill a rhinoceros with this book. Yes. Chris, you have far exceeded my expectations for today. You have been absolutely phenomenal. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the Rocky Files, and I know Stacy loved you. So
thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me here, and I'll work on that mashup for you. I might, I might reach out to you just to ask you a couple of questions, like what kind of that you have, right?
Yeah, so, I have some ideas.
Yeah, I want to hear them, and I will. It will materialize, and it'll come to life.
Cool.
I love that, my friend. Until we see you again, probably at our Christmas party when we have you DJ it for the Rocky Files community.
I've always wanted to come to Philadelphia. I gotta come to Philly. I want to get the Flyers game. I gotta run up the steps.
Right?
So it's gotta happen.
You gotta do it.
Perfect.
Until we see you again, my friend. Keep
punching.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Listen, far exceeded my expectations for
ton
today.
of fun. Yeah. Well, I knew from his answers. I was like, oh, he'll be great. Yeah.
You know what's funny, Stacy? We always, not so much me. I always do that. I say, I got nothing to talk about. This is going to be horrible. What are we doing? We're doing. We're not qualified for this. I'm not qualified for this. And then we go. We have a guy like Chris who just brings it. I mean, he brings the noise, brings the funk. The guy did great. I really loved hearing it, and I really think everybody's going to love him. Right. You got a lot of editing to do because I was interrupting because I needed him to hear certain things. So unfortunately, you guys probably won't hear all of the outtakes that we have, but man, it was awesome. Largely because YouTube, I was playing music, and YouTube is never going to let all you guys hear what we were just doing.
Yeah.
So I know, Stacy, you have your work. I have a feeling that the corporate executives are going to give you a huge Christmas bonus this year.
Oh, awesome! Good to know. No, it's fine. Yeah, YouTube makes lives harder all the time.
Yeah, YouTube stinks. Okay.
Yeah. But I know I'm understanding what because they'll block us. Like as soon as I upload it, we're blocked. So I'm like, okay, so I have to go back and pull something out. It's a pain, but I'm starting to finally get a hang of what sort of trips their radar and what.
Right.
But a lot of that conversation, even the stuff that, I mean, a lot of it's useful. a lot of it I'm going to leave in because it just all those music facts that you talked about around Bill Conti and everything. That's very interesting stuff. People love that. So,
I think we'll get by on that. I think we will get by on it.
I hope so. I hope so. But Chris, just awesome. Just, I mean, come on. We have that 1986 picture. Like it's been part of his DNA since the beginning. That is obvious. Great. He's brought it into his life and into his family. And hey, that qualifies you for here, darling.
Heck yeah.
Great job. Yeah, we're almost at an hour and a half. This was wonderful. I love when the conversation just flows like that. It's nice.
Yeah. Anyways, are we out of here, Stace?
Yes, I would say we are. Where can people find you, Michael?
Listen, people can find me on Instagram at the Yo Philly Film Tour. They can find me at TikTok at the Yo Philly Film Tour. Same thing over there on Facebook or Mike Kunda. I also have a little book out called Cue the Rocky Music. There you go. I tell a lot of great stories in there. It's anywhere books are sold. And also The Pretender. My friend Jim Toscano and had put this together. The dream is real, people. Anywhere movies are streamed and downloaded. Check it out. Stacy, where can we find you?
On Instagram, I'm at the Rocky Files or at Had Me at Yo, and on Facebook, the Rocky Files podcast.
Stacy, another great episode. 102 is in the bag.
102, and I am planned all the way through the first week of May, so we got a great lineup coming.
I love this. Yeah. Stacy, until next week.
Until next week.
Keep
punching.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.